Welcome back to Virtually AWA, and for those eagle-eyed watchers of you who a few episodes ago I said, I think we had a segment where Alex Windsor was trying to talk Lacey James down ahead of their match, and then I realised I didn't actually put that match on the card. So on the pre-show for this show we're going to have that match because it plays into the tournament. I will show you the tournament now. So it's been a long tournament for this Peggy Lee Classic and we're reaching the final conclusion. We've got 2 matches left and the standings are as you can see. Alex Windsor is on 4 points. If she wins tonight she'll be on 5, which will guarantee her a place possibly in a like final playoff match sort of thing. Athena Furie has 5 points as well, so if she picks up a win she'll get 6 and possibly win overall. You've got Lacey James who has 2 matches left, so if she wins both her matches she'll have 6 and she will be the new number 1 contender as well. Well, she'll win the tournament at least anyway, so as you can see it's very close, and Nicole Matthews on 5 as well, so it's very, very tight and couldn't be closer. So let's get into it. In a pre-show match that had decent reaction from the crowd, Alex Windsor loses to Lacey James. Lacey James picking up the win in 8 minutes and 3 seconds with a twist of hate. This gets a rating of 22. Alex Windsor 22, Lacey James 25, and Lacey James continues to get better at her gimmick, which is good to know. Getting into the main show, we have a bout between Tyson T-Bone and Lewis Blaine. Tyson T-Bone looking for a win after losing to Nick Flag a couple of weeks ago, and he does indeed pick up the win against Lewis Blaine in 7 minutes and 41 seconds with the Gypsy's Kiss. Tyson T-Bone gets a 32 rating and Lewis Blaine getting only a 17 unfortunately. 27 rating overall between these two though, that's good to know. The show got off to a strong start and the crowd are hot for this one. Next we have a segment between Lacey James and the interviewer, and she's asking her, Lacey, what do you think of the match tonight? You're obviously facing off against Athena Furie with, if you win, you'll be the undisputed winner of the Peggy Lee Classic, the first ever Peggy Lee Classic. How do you feel about that? And Lacey James just shrugs off the thought, even the notion that Athena Furie is going to get any sort of victory tonight. And she just looks at the interviewer and says, she's got no chance. No chance. And then walks off. 24 rating. Lacey James enjoyed the freedom to go off script and performed well as a result. This gained heat for the storyline. And we get into a bit of a tag team action where Chris Cage teams up with his former partner Slapshot to take on Alex Rancid and Kip Sabian. In a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd, Chris Cage and Slapshot defeat Alex Rancid and Kip Sabian in 7 minutes and 8 seconds when Chris Cage pins Alex Rancid with a discus forearm smash. Kip Sabian carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, as you expect from someone so experienced in this business. Kip Sabian's got injured. This could be an issue going forward. I hope. See if I can pronounce this word. Subarachnoid bursitis. I don't know what that is, but we will find out, and hopefully it's not too bad. Slapshot seemed off his game, and Slapshot his gimmick is getting a bit stale, so we'll have to bear that in mind. Slapshot with a 23, Chris Cage with a 24, Kip Sabian 33, and Alex Rancid a 22. 20 overall rating. The crowd are hot for this, even though it wasn't as high as the previous segment. We'll have to bear that in mind. Hopefully he's not too injured. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Sticks. Next up we have Nicole Matthews. She's been asked about the main event tonight, Athena Furie versus Lacey James. Nicole Matthews obviously lost against, I think it was Athena Furie, and she's out for revenge. She's basically saying, this tournament, I might have lost, but I'm still in this, and this tournament is my name on it, and I will win this tournament one way or the other. Ominous words ahead of the main event. 31 rating though, very strong on the microphone from Nicole Matthews as we continue on the show. And then in the main event, we have a decent reaction from the crowd as Athena Furie picks up the win against Lacey James in 7 minutes and 51 seconds. This match was part of the Peggy Lee Classic. The tournament is now finished. That's not... Ignore what it says on the screen. It says Athena Furie is the winner. We'll look into it in more detail and show you what happened going on in a second. Athena Furie is a rating of 23. Lacey James has a 24. And Lacey James is getting better at her gimmick. It's a 24 overall for this match. we'll finish the show there. Strong performance from everyone again. 25 overall rating, and the show increases our popularity in 14 regions. So let's look at that tournament then, because I need to see what has gone on and check why it says that. So completed tournaments, Peggy Lee Classic. That's why. Okay. Athena Furie has outrightly won the tournament then. So what I was supposed to do is have that match end in a no contest, because that would have meant that Athena Furie was on 5, Lacey James was on 5, and Nicole Matthews was on 5. But because I didn't, and I alluded to it by the fact that Nicole Matthews said she's still in it, when if one of those ones would have won, she'd been out of it, we're going to have to ignore and pretend that that didn't happen, because the story must go on. And in true wrestling fashion, we'll pretend it didn't happen and just ignore it like WWE does with some storylines when they don't want to remember even as far as the last month. So we're going to go with this. So in our world, Athena Furie and Lacey James ended in a no contest when Nicole Matthews interrupted the match and got the referee to throw it out. So that ends with Athena Furie on 5, Lacey James on 5, and Nicole Matthews on 5. We will have a showdown on the mic with all 3 of them next week, leading up to the pay-per-view, where we will have a triple threat match to determine the #1 contender for the women's title, and also the winner, the first winner of the Peggy Lee Classic tournament. So look forward to that bit. And that's all for today's episode. Hope you've enjoyed it, and like the video if you have, including my comedic accidental bad booking. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.